Is this thing on?
All right, let's get this show on the road.
Okay.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 82 of the Coffee and Carving Show.
I'm Alec Lacasse, and we're joined by my guest,
Bub Stinker,
Bub Stinker.
Doug Linker.
Doug Linker. Thank you for clarifying. That's a very common misnomer.
Right.
How are you doing?
Well, I'm so happy that you invited me back again this week.
Yes.
And we've got some stuff to talk about.
We do indeed. It's another day, another dollar, as I always say.
It's definitely another day.
At best.
I'm drinking piping hot tea because I have the sorest throat. It's like I got razor blades in my throat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was sick last week during the episode too. I just didn't mention it, but
you're a big man.
I didn't say it.
Well, I'm just saying, if I sound funny, that's why. But anyway, what have you been up to this week?
Well, it's funny. I called my brother today, and I was showing him.
Call him?
Well, I called him. His name is Kenny.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that was good though. Anyway, I've just organized a little bit. So I used to have like sandpaper and some tool storage and stuff over there, but my main workstation is all the way over here, right behind me, right? And so I moved over my camera stuff, which was all the way over here, to all the way over there, right?
Wow.
So just kind of moved things away from the dust, and that's what I did part of today. And I went to a job site, to look at a big commission project for a sign, the sauna sign. So I assessed that with a contractor that I had come out, and we figured out what we're going to need to do. And yeah, it's been good.
Any relation to the last sauna sign you made?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the same exact guy.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
Yep. So a new one. This one is like 50% bigger, or right around there. Yeah. So it's huge.
Well, if I remember correctly, you'll have a little more freedom not finishing somebody else's work.
Yeah, but the design that he's gonna have me do is very, very similar. It's the same company. So it's
but at least you start to finish. That's all I'm saying.
Same design as the original. So yep. So I'll be able to kind of decide how I want to approach it, which will be nice. So hopefully I can, I haven't decided how I'm going to go about it. If I'm going to relieve the letters out and the background, or just the letters. You ever see Kinman? Is it Raymond Kinman or Kinsman?
No.
He's the Disney carver. He was on.
Yes. Okay. Yep. I said the name. Yep.
I probably butchered his name. I think it's Raymond Kinman, but he and I have corresponded a little bit, and I was looking at his work, and a lot of it is just carved around the immediate letters. So the sign is flat, and then the letters are outlined, and then he makes gouge marks so that it looks separate from the background.
Yep.
In a lot of cases, not all of them. I mean, but some of them are that way. So part of me wants to try that, get that hand carved kind of effect,
Mm-hmm. There's it's funny that we're talking about this. I got a book. Talk about something for a minute. I want to talk.
I'm talking about something. Doug wants me to talk about something. I have tea. That's all I've got. I have tea, and Doug is coming back.
Oh, I'm coming back. I just there we go. I was reminded while we were talking about the carving signs and stuff, and I dug out this old book by Enlow.
Mm.
And so carving your letters would be the same as carving a character flat.
Mm-hmm. Yep, a lot like that. Yep.
And so Van Kelly highlighted a plaque on his channel. He did a free carving with just the V tool and stuff.
Cool.
And it was just a fun little thing. It reminded me of that old book.
I'm glad you pulled that out. So that's cool to see that other people are doing that. I like that look. I think it's kind of cool. and it would mean a lot less bulk removal. So if it looks cool and it's a lot less sawdust everywhere, then
Oh yeah,
why wouldn't I go that route? But who
yeah.
knows? Who
But that,
knows?
like I said, I was saying, letters aside, that can be done with anything on the flat. Just to
Yeah.
do a leaf is just trace a comic book or whatever
Hmm.
comic book coloring book, and
Yeah.
you can just relieve into it and just do
Okay.
layers and paint it.
Cool.
It's a fun little. I think it's a little bit easier than most projects. So yeah.
I like that a lot. Yeah. So, and I've never done this. I don't think I've carved a sign before this scale. But like you said before, the last one I did was already kind of carved out. So, I don't know. A little bit scared.
Well, if you're anything like me, my wife has been after me to put a sign with our address. We're on a long laneway that splits off, so we have a neighbor behind us still, so we share the laneway. But where we turn into my side of the laneway, my wife's been after me to make a wood sign, a carved sign, to show the proper address and say Linker or something this way, because every delivery and every Amazon order and everything goes straight to the neighbor behind us, and they
Yeah.
throw it on his front porch. And
Right.
we need to make that turn into my place. But yeah, I procrastinated that like everything else. So
Mhm. Yeah.
but,
Yeah, I liked your ADHD video that you made a couple days, maybe a week ago now, where you start out
oh
in your shop with your wife, and she says, "Don't get distracted while you're out
yeah,
getting wood." And before you know it, you're camping with your buddies, you're hiking around, you're fishing.
canoeing and catching fish. That's right. Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
that was funny.
that fit. That was perfect.
Yeah,
So
but
anyway, what are you up to, man?
well, you've done more than just move your camera equipment across the room. You've been
Yeah,
you've been
yeah,
carving.
yeah. I did a lesson for the school. I don't know if you can see the little owl back there, but he's kind of cool. And this is the newest one that goes up live.
Oh yes,
Kind of fun.
I like that. I like how you kept some of the bark on an owl. It's hard to keep the bark coming up like that, eh? On the
Yeah.
sides. That's
I
sweet.
don't know. And then I made a little green man. So I'm doing you can't really see it because of the light, but I'm doing a bunch of carving. Oh, that goes in the blooper reel. I'm doing a bunch of carvings. I'm October 6th. I'm releasing some carvings, like 10 of them on my website. So people have been asking like crazy
Yeah.
about carvings commissions since that short, and I realized I'll never be able to do all the commissions, so I'll just do, for the first time in a long time, I'll just put some stuff on there and sell it on my website. And so
That's a fantastic idea.
right, we'll see.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
And
so I'm
it's
putzing around in here.
I was going to say the only difference is when you do shows, but you only do a few shows a year. You can't collect everything all year, so you gotta move them along. So just
Yeah.
even your warm up carvings and everything that are a little bit like not non commissions,
Hmm.
it'd be a fast way to keep the money flowing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I look forward to that. I'm gonna drop those. So if you guys want a carving, put it in your calendar. October 6th. It's like actually this will come out on the 6th, won't it? No,
Yeah.
it'll come out
Well, close. Regardless, 3 days.
Yeah. So yep. So there you go.
Right.
Yeah, so it's probably live now if there's anything left.
That's wishful thinking. That's
That's
good.
positivity, right? You like
Positive,
that?
positive thinking. Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
it while you can. Get it while it's still hot.
So I had the
Mhm.
craziest week of in the shop here.
Really?
Well, I showed you. I started off. I went on this crazy tangent, and that I'm gonna save that for next week so I don't spoil it. But I will give you one hint. I was
Okay.
I was making some little jigs and stuff, and for next week, this is the jig for what I'm going to talk about next week. So
That's our hint.
place your guesses if you know what this
You're gonna
is.
do pull-ups. One-handed pull-ups.
Oh
One-handed
yeah.
pull.
Well, I only need to do one finger ones. So
There you go. See, perfect.
I made a new bench dog,
Oh yeah, dog.
bench, whatever you call it, bench dog.
Okay. He has
So
that dog going.
that's just for chiseling into.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's not what I was talking about. So I went off in this tangent doing this other project that you'll see next week,
Mm-hmm.
and then my family and I we went to the orchard to check out all the pumpkins and gourds and stuff, and we came home with armload, and I was like, oh, I have an idea, because every year I do like a pumpkin of some sort, right? Like a little. But this year I got the idea, and I made what do I call them? Samsquash.
I love that green one. That light green one. Can you put that up?
This is the.
Oh, put it in the center of the screen. Center.
Hang on.
There you go. You got it. Nice. I
This guy's the same.
like that light one. Yeah, I like that one a lot.
So, but anyway, so I just made these little goofy gourds, and that video came out today. So it's been up for a couple days when you're watching this. And
Is that what you called it?
I forget what I called it. I think I did Samsquash question mark, and then something like carving a Franken gourd, or yeah, Franken squash with hand tools, something like that. I don't know.
Love that.
But the story is the making of this video. I've made this 3 times, hence the 3 squashes, because I wanted to do something quick and easy, just quick and easy.
Right.
So I just carve a gourd and make the video, put the clips on. The video clips look good on the computer. Everything's great. Bring it into my video editor. They look great up in the thing. And every time I took a clip and dragged it down, it showed up as me driving up north from 2 videos ago. Like that video was superimposed with the new video. So either I didn't format it or there's a glitch in the card.
Yeah.
And I could not get it. Like I said, it shows it in the files. It shows it in the files of the video editor. And as soon as it went to the timeline, it reverted to this old file.
I hate that. Oh, I hate that.
So I deleted everything. Then I did it again. And I said, well, since I'm not going to be talking, I don't need my microphones. So then I was just sticking the camera every which way, right under my nose. And anyway, long story short, again, play back the video. It's all.
Oh, every time. Yeah.
Snagglepuss behind the camera, breathing right into the camera because I didn't have my mic. Snaggletooth without it.
I don't know.
Didn't have my mic, so I was just breathing right in it. So I said, "Oh, this is terrible." So now I have to add music. So then I added music and made the whole video again and added music, real nice little behind the scenes music, and I hated it. I just wanted a video with the cutting, the sound, the cutting. I didn't want music, and I just could hear the comments playing in my head with the music so I deleted it and did it again.
People don't like, and it's interesting because I remember this has come up before. People love your. Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. So, hence video number 3. No breathing and blowing in the camera. No music. Just a quick little hand tool ASMR-ish sounding video, and now I'm happy.
I really like those. I like those, and the thing is, it's annoying to me that you felt in your mind, and people maybe didn't watch them as much last you were into them, and you felt like discouraged about it. I thought that was like, super cool, but it's a different audience. The audience, that wants to learn from you, they might not just they're more interested in you talking through it, right? But I think it's a great break from those instructional videos. Just
100%.
relax.
The only problem was what I thought was going to be a nice, easy, quick video turned out to be 28 hours until 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 nights.
That's how video making goes, right? I mean, It's
And then,
like every time I have a 2-minute clip to make, it takes me 3 hours.
yeah,
50 takes later.
I wish I. Well, I don't wish. I don't. I take it back. I don't wish I was like this, but it would have been so easy just to hit publish and be done, and not
Right.
do it all again.
Yeah, I
But
was giving you that compliment the other day. I feel that's one of your strengths is you are so good at you will say, for instance, you'll spend a quite a bit of time on something, and maybe the video that you're working on just didn't turn out right. You're willing to trash it. Most people are gonna just say, screw it, I'll post it, you
yeah,
know. But
yeah.
there's a certain standard of quality that you have in your videos, and you produce enough to where it doesn't hurt you. You're gonna make that video the next day. It's not like you're gonna keep putting it off. You're using it as an excuse to
No,
not
and I
do
do
the
consider
work.
it the next one, regardless. But what I do know, experience tells me that I have videos from 7 years ago that I can't even watch
Yep.
because I hate them so much.
Yeah.
So now I know if I don't like it before I hit publish,
Yep.
I'm not gonna grow to love it.
Yep.
Anyway, that's my long story. But you mentioned the switching it up, and we talked about this a week ago too. What was the phrase? Marry the genre, vary the content.
Okay.
So instead of me going off and doing a full camping trip like I could have last week or before, then I confuse everybody that, oh, Doug, go camping, do more camping. Well, this isn't a camping channel. This is now a wood carving channel. So that's what I mean by marry the genre. So it's wood carving,
Right.
but vary the content means I can make silent videos. I can make tutorials, but regardless, at the end of the day, it's all wood carving, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I forget. I wish I could tell you who coined that phrase, but
Mm.
as soon as I heard it, I said, yeah, that's it.
Yep.
So,
Wow, this is good tea.
what do you got?
If your name isn't Abraham Linker, this is good tea. It's Dragon Ball tea, I think. I
Why
was
you
at When I was in Vancouver, we went to this little like Chinese market, actually
Yeah,
pretty big Chinese market in Chinatown. Annalise said she has never been anywhere so much like China in her entire life. The baskets were all out in the open, big wicker baskets full of stuff, no plastic liner, just covered in bugs flying around, and it was weird and kind of
yeah.
cool. But I got some tea there. Oh, it's good.
So we're both drinking tea on the coffee and carving show. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that you've been teasing me. You called me Abraham Linker,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to show you something.
Mm.
It's so funny because I dug this up. This was a gag calendar I made in
Oh,
2013. And I just came up with it on the wall or found it, and I said, "Oh, I want to go back to that for a little while." So
man.
have your fun.
I will. I will. Yeah.
So
Comment below, guys. Should Doug keep the Lincoln stash,
no,
or
I don't. I can't be ruled by the internet. But Sophie says, "I don't care. You're just going to change it soon enough anyway." Because she said, "I wish we had made a catalog of all the looks you've had. Because I've had the goatees, the half goatees, the little whatever you call the thing, full beard, big beard. So I
you've
like to
had
mix it up."
you've had more looks than many women have had purses, probably.
Well, I told her, I said, "Well, that's a good one. That's how we keep our marriage fresh. You know, you get a
Yeah,
different guy all the time." So
you got to do something.
yeah.
Keep it alive.
Oh
As long as the
dear.
personality stays the same, right? That's the main thing. So,
Well, she may wish for other too, but so that doesn't work.
well, that's a given, but you know.
So I wanted to ask you or talk to you about and tell the people. I had a few people come to me and say, and even in our mailbag that we'll get to later, but the YouTube over YouTube video over just audio for the podcast. We've had some requests. In fact, I even got some messages from people I know asking, why isn't it audio? I want to go for a drive and listen to it. But we decided, I think basically that this was the best platform so that we can show and tell and in future give tips or whatever. It's just visual. Is that
Yeah.
is that fair?
Yeah, I would say you summarized it well.
Yeah.
We didn't
Yeah.
like having to not be able to show people stuff or demonstrate or do something cool because it was an audio thing too.
Yeah, it makes for real bad audio when you're showing the pictures.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yep. So that's that. But yeah, and I'm sure you I'm sure some folks, they'll be annoyed by that, and I see why, because, people now, to listen to it, you have to, have it playing in your pocket on YouTube, but you can still do that. You can still plug it into your car stereo when you're driving.
yeah, and what people also don't know is that one of the benefits of having a YouTube membership,
Mhm.
is it called a membership?
Oh, I don't know. I don't
Oh,
know.
if you get it becomes ad free. I'm not sure the name what they call it. When you
Okay.
take you pay your membership to YouTube and you have no ads. But you
Okay.
can also download things for audio, and you can close your player and it'll continue to play.
Okay.
Whether that be your phone or your iPad or laptop, it'll continue to play audibly.
Got it.
Audibly?
Audibly. Yeah.
Audibly while your thing is closed. So
Why did they put a B there? Yeah.
hey, audibly.
Well, I guess the D is still there.
Yeah.
Audibly. I like making up my own words.
There you go.
So yeah. So what about you? What else have you been doing? What have you been up to this week?
Not too much. Pretty well covered most of it, other than my two jobs of actual real work. This is my playtime.
Right.
But
Right.
I did manage to catch for the first time in a long time, the International Association of Woodcarvers on Saturday. I got on their Zoom meeting,
Yeah.
and that was fun. We had the English guy, Rich Embling, who is on Instagram as I think he's the Urban Tinker
Okay.
on Instagram, and he did a live demonstration of kind of a flat Frankenstein head. It's really cool. Really cool.
That was cool.
So that's on YouTube now too for the International Association of Woodcarvers, because they
Yep.
record it and they'll just put it up, and yeah, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always fun, and then you get to talk to my buddies that I haven't talked to forever. So again, it's probably spring since the last time I got to join one of them, because it's Saturday afternoons, and not often am I sitting around with nothing to do on a Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, never. Yeah. Saturdays are always like overflow from the week for me. Like all the things I didn't get done, and trying to get some social stuff in at the evening, in the evening sometimes, or whatever. No. Yeah. I don't. I'm not one of these guys that's sitting around playing pickleball, in the evenings. I can't do that. So.
I gave myself one night.
I'll tell you, I have this old friend who is Italian and the hardest working man I've ever met. And whenever I used to talk to him, he would call me. I'd play tennis maybe 4 times a year, and he called me 4 times that summer. And each of those times he called me, I was on my way to playing tennis, and he was like, "What the hell are you doing? What are you doing?"
When you use that voice, I know exactly who you're talking about.
What are you doing with your life? Every time I talk to you, you're out there, hitting the tennis ball, just lollygagging, just like some retired guy. I was like, oh, the timing was awesome. I know what it seems like.
No, the inside joke is that we have a very difficult time getting together, because I really only have one full free night a week, and
Right.
I picked up pickleball over the summer, and I'm gonna play at least till the snow flies, and then hopefully I'll get to do something indoors. But
You guys have a difficult time getting together for pickleball. You'd want to do it more than once a week?
no, you and me.
Oh,
our commitments are all over the map. We have a difficult time getting
Yeah.
there. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I get you.
you get me. You get me.
I
So
feel you, brother. Yeah.
other than that, though, what you know, we got some mailbag questions this week.
Is it time for that?
I don't know. Are you got any more stories for me?
Let me ponder that. I just want to turn this whole podcast backwards around, and I want to talk about my media now.
Okay, do it.
Uh, I have completely always. Oh well, let me start here. In the back of my head, all of the time, I am, I am this close to pulling to the front of my head my love for the outdoors, uh, bug out and
Oh
emergency
yeah,
bag kits.
that's right. You sent me a little Altoids tin.
It just takes one video to trip me up, and I fall back in love with all of those little those YouTube videos about making bug out bags, the blankets and the first aid kits and the flashlights and the waterproof sacks and the straws that you suck through to filter the water and all this stuff. It's just like it's almost this internal. Tell me what you think. I think it's a male instinct. I think men have an instinct to prepare for the worst case scenario. And when you play on that instinct, you get this whole other world of just, piling up rice in containers and you got
Oh
beans in a bag. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
There's I'm not going to talk bad about those guys because they're not wrong to have
Mm-mm.
supplies, but some just the overkill is just like we got 10 years. We can survive for 10 years, but we have to eat the old stock. We have to rotate it. We have to buy. We gotta buy these shelving that we take them on the bottom, and
Yep.
then it comes down. You put the new one on top, and we just roll it around. But my question to you though, so when I was in the bushcraft world back
Yeah.
on Bushcraft USA, like we made survival tins like always, like
Really?
it was a constant evolution of the survival tin, and we had little blades and little fire starters and
Oh, you're
little skinny space
getting
blankets.
excited.
And and guess I always packed a full one. Had a real big what they call a Ranger band, which is basically an inner tube tire cut like an elastic.
Huh.
So it's extra strong elastic, and you would just tie it up with that Ranger band and
Make a
carry.
tourniquet or what?
No, just to keep the tin closed and have that extra little.
Like somehow, like how some guys put the rubber band on the Altoid tin to keep
Yeah,
it
it's the
together.
same thing, but you
Yeah,
can't. Rubber band's not strong enough.
do
This
any.
is survival now. We
I
need a
love
Ranger
that.
band, which is
Oh,
just,
that's so good.
imagine taking an inner tube like a bicycle inner tube tire and just cutting it this way. Then you've
Yeah,
got super strong elastic, right?
that's awesome.
And yeah, so then you got that, and they'll burn. It'll burn.
Hmm.
It'll burn black
Okay,
smoke, but it'll burn, and
right,
you can start a fire with it. But anyway, never used it once in my
right.
the decade or whatever I was around there, and
Yeah.
it was just about purchasing and packing in such a way that you can say I can do anything with this Altoids tin, right?
The only reason that I laugh, I have never ever used any of those little bug out kits that I have. The one thing that I think every single person should have is a bug out bag in their car. Not necessarily for bugging out, like in the case of an emergency, that we're in a war situation, you don't have a home, you're on the run. But just like if your car stalls out somewhere or you get thirsty, you forget water somewhere, you get hungry, you forget a snack, you've got
Yeah,
your bars, you've got your water, you've got an extra blanket if you're out camping with your wife and you didn't bring enough, warm
yeah,
clothes. It's just I use that thing. I mean, barring I'm not sucking out of that straw into a pond, in a pond.
that
But
works good.
have you done that?
A survival straw, yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard that those are kind of annoying though, that there are different formats for that are better. Because
Yeah,
no one,
you gotta suck like the wind,
right?
like just to get it wet. through the
Yeah.
muddy water. It's horrible. I wouldn't want to count on it.
Right.
I use a gravity or a bag squeezy filter.
There you
But
go.
I
Hmm.
got to go back because I forgot the most important thing about the Altoids tin.
Mm.
The Altoids tin needs to have a hole in the top because it can also double as making a char tinder. So you got to put you can take some bark or some even grass. We used to make a char cloth, piece of your shirt, and you put it in the Altoids tin and you put it in the fire. But so that it's closed, there's no oxygen. So
Uh-huh.
anyway, you just made a char cloth or a char tinder,
Yeah.
and all you need to do is get a flint and a steel, and then you just make a
Mhm.
spark, and then you've got it, right?
So
So
then what? Would the holes to vent the flame or what?
the holes would let some of the smoke come out, but you still want to get air. So it would just be like a almost like a fossilized, like whatever it was, just it's just like
Yeah.
black,
Yeah.
you know. So
I get you. That's cool.
yeah, so that's the
Yeah.
most important thing about the survival of the tin.
The hole in the
So
tin. Yeah.
what you were sending me videos. So what have you ordered on Amazon?
Dude, I've been a good boy. Um, the one thing I'm really tempted to get are these sutures. Not sutures, they're yeah, they are. They're like a bandage. I don't know if you've seen these, but they have zip ties built into them. So if you
Zip.
get cut, so if you get cut, it
Yeah.
will it'll pull the two ends together between the tape.
Okay.
Come on.
Come on.
That's Rick.
But if you have a wound like that, you better get some bag like quick clot too, so it'll
Yep.
just stop the bleeding
Yep.
and then pull it together.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I want to have one of those in the band in the with the quick clot and that ratchet strap deal.
But Alec, you never know. You never know.
I know it's horrible.
You
It's
never. Yep.
it's a habit that I've gotten myself out of adding to my bags, but
We know it's not about you either. Like you could
Mhm.
save your wife's life,
That's what it is. That's what
right?
it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you have a hammer in your vehicle too? You can
Oh
when you
no,
drive
I
off the
thought
bridge.
that my wife's mom has one in case there. Yeah, I always thought that one was funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
yeah, I don't know. I always think about in that situation, I would probably just use my head. You know.
I just kick out the wind. Yeah. I carry what I got a hatchet, a knife, lighters. I'm not sure if I have a small blanket like a towel and in my trunk, but
Mhm.
yeah, I love the water idea, and I
Yeah,
would. But
I've used it.
every time I've ever done water, I
Mhm.
come back. If I put it in a thermos, you gotta have a plastic bottle because you put it in your little water bottle, and then you remember it in December, and it's frozen solid, and it expands, and it's blown
Yep,
cracked the vessel. So
exactly.
you got a bag, or you got a bottle of frozen water, which is absolutely useless in
Hmm.
the snow because it's easier to lick snow.
Yep. Well, you keep it in your car, and hopefully, by the time you get to it, it's still warm from the car.
There you go.
You never know. But
You never know.
but
But that
who
was
knows?
a good. That's a fun tangent. That
What if you use the? Because I keep hand warmers in mine too. What if you use the hand warmers to melt it? I keep a camping stove. You're gonna think this is dumb. I keep a camping stove in mine.
well, you're prepared.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
before I'd use my hand warmer to get a sip of water, I think I'd stick it inside my shirt
Yeah.
under my arm.
Yeah. That's your last memory right before you freeze to death. Oh, I
Yeah.
had water in my chest.
Oh,
Oh man. So yeah, that's just something that I'm just restraining myself from going on Amazon and buying all these things that are linked in these videos. But and the
well, don't
metric,
worry. Now that you've let YouTube know what your
uh-huh.
weakness is, they're gonna feed you
Oh
these videos every day now.
yeah. Oh for sure. Exactly right. That's exactly what I was about to say. So
That that's a blessing and a curse at the same time. Yeah.
right, right. And just see, I've been this close to buying a new case knife because I've always, as a teenager and a young adult, I've always had a case knife that I carried with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those are just I love the feel of the mechanism and that grandpa knife. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I lost mine, so I need it. I need it.
You work hard, you deserve it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
the least I can do for myself, sitting in this wooden box all day.
Oh boy.
I'm a man.
I've been so good back in those days though on Bushcraft USA. Man, I spent so much money,
Yep.
and that group think just feeds each other,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and you just start buying and buying, and they're giving you easy access to the links where they got this cool gadget, and you know.
Well, that hobby as a whole is so heavily entrenched in the consumerist part too. Like that's one thing that's nice about carving. You know, there aren't that many products. There aren't that many manufacturers making products for wood carvers. It's
Yeah.
kind of, I mean, you can go down that rabbit trail, don't get me wrong, and spend a lot of money, especially if you get into power carving. But I mean, once you have a few tools, the basic tools, you can get pretty far with that. You don't need to
I
have.
have that's fair. I have a ridiculous amount of tools at
Hmm.
my disposal,
Yeah.
but that's over a decade
Yeah.
where I bought different sets and different wanted to try different things,
Yeah.
and to be fair, I've thought about selling the old sets because
Hmm.
I would used to I would do that. I'd turn around, sell them, and lose money immediately.
Hmm.
And the last few years, I'm like, no, I'm not selling no more stuff, and I'll just have it. And you know, it's funny. I've gone back and said, oh, remember that, and then I find what I had, and so I'm saving them. Take them to my grave now.
Yeah. That's what I would do. Because you never know too. I mean, when kids come in, parents with kids, I leave little extra scraps of wood in here and extra old tools because you never
Mhm.
know. You can toss a gouge or a piece of wood to somebody who uh, has never seen one before, and you have 15 of the same ones, so you might as
Yep.
well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nope. For sure.
But yeah, um, yeah. So that's that. Yeah, I'm excited to see. It just popped in my head. I'm excited to see what's going on, how this sale thing goes on the website. I've never done. I've People keep saying you've never done this before, like sold anything
Yeah.
online, and I go, kinda, but I didn't really commit to it.
It didn't, but you didn't, yeah, make it like your job, like to feed the store. Yeah.
No.
No, good for you. People, oh, and to be fair, I have so many carvings around here,
Yeah.
and in fact, I've started putting them. It's no fun to make a carving and then put it in a box.
Mhm.
So I keep saying that, and someday in the future, I'm just gonna do the same thing and just start selling them, and
Yeah. You
you
should.
know,
Yeah, I agree.
might as well let everybody enjoy and not put them in a box. It's just what's the motivation for carving is just to take it off the wall and then put it in the box.
Right.
So
Well, it's funny, man. I've been thinking a lot about this, and there's two mediums that we are into, to different extents depending on the video and depending on the mood that we're in, probably. But there's the making of the carving,
mm-hmm.
and then there's the one that a lot of the carvers can't relate to, and that's all the stuff around making videos and editing and that's a whole nother art form and craft that personally, I'm very, very subpar, very mediocre at. But it's just
Well,
different.
I am as well, but I always counted the video as my product,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
that's why I say I wasn't that sad about putting it aside or whatever, but because
Right.
the video to me was the product.
Yep.
But now I have boxes of byproducts,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I can we can unload them too. So
Yep. Yeah, and then for me it's trickier because it's not so easy. I don't think of myself as a just a video person who's the byproduct of the carving. I think about the carving and then the video is the byproduct.
yes, exactly. You're
Right.
right. Yeah,
So it's a different mindset.
yeah. Because you're
And
like you're like I was carving it anyway, so I grabbed my camera, and I'm
exactly.
like I gotta make a video, so I'm gonna make a carving.
Right. Yeah, which is cool. It's cool the different motivations that get us to the same place, you know.
That's funny. I never thought about it like that. But,
Mm. So anyway, so I derailed us for 20 minutes. You were trying to get to the mailbag.
no, I'll just give you a quick media too because this is
Yeah.
right on top, right on brand. It was there's a fella who has mentioned us a few times now, and his cousin Jack Carves has made I believe it's a separate channel, and don't quote me on this, but I believe it's Wood Carving Weekly,
Okay.
and he's made a little show where he highlights some tips and tricks, and then he mentions the new videos of the week that came out. So like last
Oh,
week he mentioned the coffee and carving show,
no way.
and the week before I think he mentioned one of my videos as well. And
What is it called?
I want to say Wood Carving Weekly, but
Let me.
it's from Cousin Jack Carves, so it's two different channels. So it might be linked to Cousin Jack Carves if it's not Wood Carving Weekly.
I know you guys can hear my typing, but let me just see. Oh, cool. Yeah,
So
that is.
what is the website called?
It is called Wood Carving Weekly.
Hey, good.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah. So that's something to check out.
He's got the last name really close. The C is capital on that. What's his name?
Cousin Jack.
Cousin Jack. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, I think it's Jack. I want to say Loring, but
Very cool.
so yeah, that was my media I wanted to throw out, as well as the International Association of Woodcarvers because they put out those meetings that they do on Saturdays. So
Uh-huh. Oh,
yeah.
he spelled it right down here. He knows. He knows. Oh, I'm one to talk. My speaking of book stuff, speaking of words, I mean, my book is I'm still editing parts of it right
How
now
are you really?
as we speak now.
How is your spelling?
Oh, dude. I used to be, I'll tell you what, brother, when I was in the second grade, I was one of the best spellers in Shelby Township. I mean, I was always the top of my class in the second grade. And then from there, as phones, came into play, I'm pretty sure now I'm one of the worst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see a spelling mistake a mile away, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah. So you're a speller, are you?
Well, yeah, I'm a good speller.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I read a lot, maybe that helped, but
Yeah.
yeah, spelling mistakes drive me crazy. And my wife, being French
Uh-huh.
and writing English,
Uh-huh.
drives me insane. And
Yeah.
it's comical. It's
Right.
comical how when she explains it, I'm like, well, that kind of makes sense, I guess.
Right.
There's always a reason for it, but yeah. But
Well, and then the words get harder, the older you get. So in second grade, it's like and then, buy, and then find,
oh,
stuff
so
like
you're
that.
saying your grade two is not really that great?
And then all of a sudden they start putting other words like passionate and, I don't know, graphic or butter, stuff like that. It gets harder. So,
Butter. Okay, let's move on. Hit the mailbag this week. We had some questions come in, so it's good. And if you do have questions or topic ideas that you want us to discuss, you can email us anytime at coffeeandcarvingshow@gmail.com.
no
So
just in there, by the way. It's coffeeandcarvingshow@gmail.com.
yeah, not the, as I used to always say.
No those about it.
All right. Well, in the inbox, we got some pictures of some carving sent to us, which is always nice.
Cool.
Roger's got a cool little alligator chainsaw carving there.
Nice.
But he also has a question. Treatment of cottonwood bark. Hey guys, just wondering if you know or how you prepare your cottonwood bark for bugs or anything else like that, and how. Do you ever have bug issues or have to deal with bugs in your bark? Alec, this is all you.
Most of the time, bug issues are while the tree is still attached, the bark is still attached to the tree. So I don't have a lot of problems with bugs post carving. And I think that's what he's saying. so for me, I don't worry about it. If I hit a bug hole and I need to repair it, say, I'll take a little piece of bark, a scrap from the same piece of wood, like underneath on the backside. I'll cut it out. And then what I'll do is I'll shave a little cone so it's tapered and it's round. And then I'll pound it into that little tiny bug hole. And I'll with some glue, I'll take wood glue, and then at the very base there'll be wood glue, and at the very top super glue, so that I pound it in, and I can just keep carving right away.
Yep. Yep. I don't have any experience with the bug issues, but I do have a memory of my father used to collect branches that had like would go three ways, so there'd be a three-way stand of a branch, and they build these really cool countryish birdhouses. So
Mm-hmm.
they're freestanding on three legs,
Yeah.
and they used to sell them. And I remember one time somebody was calling them that had bought one. I said every day there's a pile of sawdust on the floor underneath the
Oh wow.
birdhouse legs. So, long story short, uh, garbage bag and a can of Raid, and just spray it,
Yeah.
close it up, and hopefully that takes care of it. So,
Yeah.
but as far as pre-training, I don't think you'd be able to see if you had a problem before you carved.
I've never once had a carving get eaten up, a bark carving get eaten up by a bug. I've never experienced that, but
Yeah,
you will often find beetles and little boring bugs in your bark.
yeah,
If you carve a lot of bark, and so yeah, the best thing is to just to leave it. Cut the bug out, and if you can, leave the holes. But if it really bothers you, maybe it's on the nose or it's on the forehead or something. I mean, yeah, go ahead and fill it. Carve a little cone, or if you have a pen, I'm sorry, a pen knife or a whittling knife around, you can just push it into the hole and fill it. So
actually it makes it cool because the holes usually got a little bit of color around it too, so it
yep.
actually makes a cool little detail too.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
it's not exactly the same, but I
yep.
find a lot of holes are usually darker on the inside, so
Mm-hmm.
there's always a little ring, so a
Right.
little bit of character.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Agree.
Hey, big shout out to Ray. Ray bought us some coffees this week, so
All
thanks, Ray.
right. Whoa, Julio.
Ray.
Yes. Whoa. I don't know where it is. I don't know. There's a thing on here that I can do, but I've given up.
That's right. We got to get on our sound effect game here.
Oh man. Yeah, it's a big deal. People tune in for that. That's the main reason we got people watching, and I failed us. Oh,
You did. You really did.
oof. Yeah. Wow. I'm ashamed.
Christopher wants to know any advice or any demos on tool sharpening, please. It says Doug, but I'll include Alec, particularly V tools. What was that noise?
Sorry,
It's
can
like
you repeat that?
it's,
You answer it first, and maybe I'll surmise what the
you're too
question.
busy. You're too busy playing with the sound effects. Christopher wants to know any advice or demos on tool sharpening, please, particularly V tools.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, go ahead. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to say I have actually two videos on my channel. One is just on the stropping of tools and making a strop, and also power sharpening stropping.
Mm-hmm.
I might have three reprofiling tools as well. So I've got the videos on the channel.
I did one of them, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And on the same idea, same arm here. Peter wants to know. I have a few palm tools from FlexCut, but the smallest ones he finds it very hard to do good stropping on small V tools. Any advice? And I do have advice. Get yourself these little blocks. FlexCut makes one, and the Dockyard Tool guys have them, and that makes your especially the inside of your V tools. You can get them no matter what the size is, right down to the tiniest of V tools, and you can strop on the back.
Do you
And then
use those things?
I carry when I travel.
Okay.
I have no use for them right here now because I've got a whole setup over here of sharpening stuff.
What do you
But
use in your shop?
What's that?
What do you use in your shop for that?
I have a maple wheel basically with these profiles on it that turns, and I will take my chisel or gouge and I'll do the outside on a leather belt,
Yep.
and then I'll move over to that maple wheel and fit the
Uh,
profile, and then I
Yeah.
finish it up on a buffing wheel. On
Yeah.
the
There
so
you go.
I have a full video on that. But anyway, like I said, flex cut little stropping blocks are fantastic for all your profiles. And like I said, I I keep these in my little travel kit so that I can always keep everything sharp on the go. And one side here is this little guy that I made, which is just leather on a dowel. But a dowel, you don't even hardly need the leather. You can put compound on a dowel
Hmm.
if you have a gouge that will fit just on the go. You always want to get that burr on the inside. It's one thing to strop the outside all the time, but it always kind of curls, and you want to get that inside of the.
And you can bypass if you don't have either of those things, but you have a wheel with a buffer on it.
Yeah,
Make sure it's a loose buffer because sometimes if they're, I'm sorry, a loosely bound cotton buffing wheel
yeah,
that can get into the deepest parts of your V tool.
yeah,
But you can actually, I haven't used mine. I have a wooden wheel as well, and I haven't used mine in a couple of years because now if
yeah.
I have to do the inside of a V tool, typically I've already dressed the outside edge of the V tool and of course the transition, and I can just go right to the buffer.
100%. But you hit the nail on the head though. You're already dressing it on your work sharp.
Mm-hmm.
If you solely use the buffing wheel, like in construction, we'd always just take our chisels and just use that.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, so over time, if that's your only way of keeping your tools sharp, and it is good enough, but over time, you're going to find that you start rounding, you know,
Yeah. But
until
no,
you're,
yeah, just for those inside bevels, yeah. But if you're talking sharpening from scratch, you've got to have sandpaper on a hard surface. You've got to have
yeah, but
sort of a
that's,
slow turning grinder, something that's going to remove the heavy stock first. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, no, but that's, like I said, that's construction, not wood carving. So
yeah,
you can see it. So if you solely use that, you definitely round your tools to a
yeah,
fault in
right,
time. So,
yeah.
all
You know
right,
what
well,
I've noticed though is if you have a good profile. I used to be afraid of that, and I've noticed that a little bit of that bullnosing makes for a durable edge. It does make the edge last a little bit longer. So you don't want a ton of it. You don't want to be a real broad edge. But if you've got a little bit of bullnosing on there, it's not the worst thing.
so we would call that convex.
Yeah, a little
So
bit.
we got two knives here. OCC tool knives is a total flat grind,
Yep.
and this is a Helvy knife, and it
Hmm.
has that convex.
A little bit.
Yeah, you're right, just a little bit.
Hmm.
But all my OCC tool knives now have a little bit of convex
Hmm.
because
Yep.
that's how I made them all.
Nice.
Because if you have a perfectly flat grind, you're going to carve into the wrong grain and you're going to chip it.
Yep.
It's so fine. If you do a perfectly flat grind on a thin knife, it's such a fine edge that there's no strength behind it.
Yep. Exactly right. Yep.
So I convex everything, just a
Hmm.
little bit, knife wise. But um, seeing as we didn't get the wood cleaned up, or the email cleaned up, I think we're it. But somebody had asked a question about knife thicknesses,
Mm.
but I don't see it now. Maybe that was on a video. But
Hmm. Yeah.
regardless, either way, I don't know. I don't have a micrometer or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
So thin is your friend.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why a lot of people complain about beavercraft is they run thick
Well, they start with a wedge.
and they're thick all the way through the stock. They
Yeah.
don't thin as they go away from the handle like a knife. It doesn't thin as it goes away from the handle.
Do they have more of that Scandi grind? That's not a full grind, right? Like,
Right. Yeah. So this is their newest tool that they actually it's kind of nice to have that profile. There's that hook knife that no one could get, right?
oh
So
yeah, okay. So
we'll
they
put
made
we'll, we'll put a link in the description here. But
Will you?
Hopefully.
Anyway, I like a flat grind. I don't like the change of bevel. And even all of my flex cut detail knives, I've worked them to take that shoulder off of the change.
Yep.
So I have one of them. But yeah, I've just got that shoulder off, so that's smoother cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree with that.
So we got some pickleball invites and some pictures, but I think that's it for the questions this week.
Very good.
So
Well, we got our media done in advance, so we're pretty much it.
we're
there.
pretty much it. So I'm looking forward to next week sharing with you my new project, because I'm having so much fun with my new project, and you'll have to tune in.
You're gonna be jacked by the end of that. With that one finger is gonna be super muscly.
That's right. That's right. The old one finger lift. Yeah. But anyway, to come next week, and also thanks for coming back and hanging out with us. Well, Alec is signing off with his one finger. You're like the juggler. Did you see The Office when Will Ferrell did imaginary juggling?
Alex, can you do 6? No, I don't like that.
I can do way more than 6, but I'm not going to.
Take your vitamins, folks.
See you next week.